Hello and welcome everybody. Look, we've already got 6 people in and we're charging away from the day. Everybody is trying to get in at once. Just to say hello and to remind people that today we will be having Katerina Lenarcic on, and she'll be discussing talking to spirit and galactic council, and maybe doing some readings depending on how things go. Just a reminder that this will be going through My Time TV live today, and at a later point, those people that are going into the contest or competition for the free reading, then that will be shown on Friday night at 6 p.m. on My TV Mytvlivewell-spirit. So keep that in mind. Please share the program if you can, please, and I'm sure that you will. So I'm just going to bring Katerina up now, and we will get straight into it. Hi, Katerina.
Good morning, Roy. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. We've got a bucket of water coming out down our way. Is it raining down your way yet?
Yes, it is. Freshening the air.
Yes, cleaning all that dust and dirt out of the air. Lovely.
That's right.
So what have you been up to?
Good. I've been getting ready for the Nuriootpa Fair on Sunday.
Ooh, good.
I'm also, yes, it's going to be a great day. I'm also getting ready for my workshop on the 12th of August, and also put up a new workshop for the 20th of October for the Akashic Records, if anybody is interested.
Well, so you do Akashic Records as well. Is that a training or just a one-on-one session?
That'll be a workshop, so there'll be like a group. I have a manual which I've intuitively downloaded information, and I'm your tour guide. So what I do is I take you through to the Akashic Records and explain what it means, and through the levels and all that stuff. It's interesting.
There's a lot involved in it by the sound of it.
It is. It's a huge library, and as like a library, you know, there's floors of books, if you know. So it's the same with the Akashic Records. So I explain. I've been given an explanation as to how all that works. So then I'm just passing it on now.
Absolutely brilliant. I just want to clear up for myself. You mentioned in the last one that the light language was coming from a galactic federation. Is that correct?
Well, yes. The light language for me is, light language is an organic, natural state of being. So everyone has it. It just means as you unravel or your negative energy that you don't want, what you do is you come closer to who you are. So then you can tap into your light language. Some people paint it, some people sing it, some people, you know, dance and all sort of thing. I'm words. I'm like a communicator. I connect to the Galactic Federation. I have a guide. I have guidance from the 10th dimension who comes through and helps me to connect to my Akashic Records. And what happens from there is that they show me what it looks like. So, yes, so beautiful. I love my connection.
Does any one person, how do they recognize whether they are connecting or not?
To the light language, or do you know?
To the Galactic Federation?
Well, you have to. Well, that's a good question, Roy. I just kind of stumbled into it, really, with all the years of my journey of self, you know, learning all about myself and so on. I learned all about my history with the Galactic Federation. So as I unraveled all my negative stuff, I connected up. And how do you know? Well, you start to come up with ideas about yourself that you couldn't even make up. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just things that you can't make up, right? And then just suddenly they appear, or you start communicating with them. But like anything, before the galactics will come through, you need to have as pure as channel as you can be, like anything really. That's the same with communicating with spirit. We have to unravel ourselves with all the negative stuff so the highest of vibration can come through, because it's like you don't want to jump into a garbage bin to communicate with somebody. It's kind of the same thing, you know.
Yeah, I find it difficult myself. Sometimes I wonder whether I'm actually connecting or whether I'm just imagining what's going on.
Yes.
So for me, it's a question of I really don't know whether I'm connecting with anything or not. And there's no real way for me to say, well, oh, this is not, this feels good, so it must be the right thing to do. And then there's other people, of course, that are going to be out there and they're going to say, oh, well, I better not mention this because people will think I'm, you know, slightly wacky around the edges.
Well,
yeah.
It's a process, Roy, because when you start to connect with spirit and is you start to hear your own voice. It's see when you talk to spirit or higher self, you're really talking to. Well, let's talk about higher self, Roy. That's the best way to explain it, right? So we all have a higher self, a version of ourselves that know everything about ourselves, right? So that's obvious. So when we connect to our higher selves, it's like talking to ourselves. We hear our own voice. As humans, we go through the process of thinking, is this real? Is this isn't real? Because you're not hearing a separate voice. Your higher self is just a version of your energy. So it sounds like you, but it may not necessarily look like you.
I don't know what the other voice looks like. I can tell you that from experience. So it's very similar, I suppose, to just your normal thought processes, except for you're getting a suggestion that really sort of comes out of the blue and says, you know, here it is.
Yes, so I've been mentored into having some sort of order or process because what happens is when you start to communicate with your higher self or even spirit, what it does is they get you to look at yourself. It's like a method. And so I teach people how to communicate with their higher selves, and what I'm doing is actually teaching them how to speak to their divine self and bring it through into the physical world, so they can have so you can raise your frequency, raise your energy, so you can bring through the information from Akashic records and information that will help you move forward. Really. We're really talking to ourselves. It's just that we have to learn to listen with different ears. What that means is the tone and the frequency will be different.
Yeah, it doesn't sound as easy as just saying it. I mean, but as you said, you help people with getting that experience. So I may have to drop all things that I know and come down and have a couple of sessions with you to figure out whether I'm talking to myself or whether I'm talking to my higher self.
Well, that would be good, but I'll just let you know, you're not talking, there's nothing wrong with you. Hi, dear. There's nothing wrong with you. There's, you're quite sane, right? It's just that we're all learning to, we're all learning to tap into parts of ourselves that we've been separated from birth. Yeah, it's quite, it's not black and white. It's like we have to demystify the new age where it made us believe it was really easy to do so. So it's a natural or a organic process. It's really the more you unravel, the more you get in touch with yourself that wants to help you. And it looks like Cherie. What was Cherie asking? I love
saying in difficult situations, please higher self speak for me and through me. It
Yes.
helps every single time. So
Yes,
obviously
that's
somebody
right.
else is connecting better than I am. So
Well, there's no one is better or less than another body. You know what I mean? Like, I have to understand that when we communicate with ourselves, it's all about trust and belief in ourselves. So the more we self-value and the more we are, you know, confident about ourselves. Oh, yep.
just there, that last start of comment there. I think your visitors are getting in because all I got was a massive jumble of spits and spurts. So if you could just
Really?
go over that sentence again. Your friends are here.
Yeah, no, they're here. But just let me make it clear, right? It's the technology that's coping, not my team, right? Or your team, it's the technology. Because when we have this type of conversation, like we said last time, you know, the frequency of the energy is raising its frequency. You know, it's uplifting. So the technology doesn't go very well. Okay, so what was I saying? Yes. So
Connecting
the way
with
that
your higher self.
Yeah, so the way that I was mentored, and many other people I think are mentored the same way, that as we unravel ourselves, we get closer to our ourselves, all about ourselves. So as you unravel, so imagine peeling an orange or a lemon, right? So you're peeling a lemon, an onion. So you're getting rid of all the stuff that doesn't work and so on. So you're getting close to your organic self. And then suddenly your intuition kicks in and suddenly you start to trust your instincts a lot more. And then you will find that in your quiet moment, you start to receive messages. And the challenge is to believe that the messages are of the highest good. If you believe they are not, then what you're doing is you're attracting that lower vibration.
So it's more a matter of trying to raise your own energies so that you can appreciate when you do notice the higher vibrations.
Yes, and that higher energy is just simply your value, your self-value, your you know, you're wanting to raise above the naysayers, for example, or raise above the difficult moments. And that's all that's what energy shifts mean, is just helping you to raise yourself above any difficult situation. And during that moment, what I teach is how to communicate with your team on a personal level, so your team can help you get through that moment.
Right. Now I'm seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. You also mentioned from the higher self that this helps you to connect with talking to spirit. That's exactly the same thing?
Yes. So I was taught to communicate with my higher self, because you are the door, your higher self is your key, and then your higher self is who allows the spirit to come in and communicate with you. It's like, imagine you're in a room, right?
Yeah.
And your higher self is like your doorkeeper or your key.
Right.
Because you're the door, right? So say a spirit wants to come in and talk to you. Well, for me, I have to my higher self first to ensure that it is of the highest good, first of all. And then they come in, and then I get the feelings or the knowing or the words. I'm starting to hear words now, and I see as well. And then that's when I talk to spirit.
Okay, I'm trying to follow this through. I am the base item. The gatekeeper is my higher self. From that, I then communicate with the higher self to make sure that anything that's coming through is what I want. And then the higher self communicates with whoever or whatever is out there in order to bring back the information I need at that time.
That's right. And the more the more quiet times you have to communicate with higher self, your light stands out. So imagine each time you do it, you add like a kilometre of light around you, which means you then learn how to speak to spirit. It just means that your higher self is kind of overseeing, ensuring that you are safe and that spirit has your highest good. That's how I teach, and that's how I was mentored.
Right. And okay, I'll take this from a different angle now. When you say expanding your energies out, you start with yourself, your own aura. You then expand yourself into the room that you're in, and then the next time that you do it, you expand to the exterior of the room that you're in, and then each time you progressively go further out. How does that connect with higher self?
Well, what it means is, as you unravel and raise your frequency of your energy, your higher self is also moving forward with you. It's like your higher self is part of you. You know, when you're communicating. So when you communicate with your higher self, Roy, it's the instincts, it's the gut feeling, it's the, oh no, I won't do that, you know, that sort of thing, right? What I do is I just personalize it for you. I kind of separate it a little bit, give you names, teach you how to recognize the energy so you know it's that. And once you do start communicating with your higher self, Roy, you will start to learn to trust your instincts a lot more. You will trust the information that you get through is for your highest good, and the wonderment of that is just amazing, Roy. When I say expand of light, that means, say your aura is, say, 5 kilometers. So each time you unravel and bring in something beautiful, you're adding another kilometer, right? So everybody in that sphere, everybody in that space around you for that kilometer receives your healing energy. It's quite wonderful, really, knowing you don't even know during their meditation, when they go into a quiet moment, their guardians go and pluck the light, the thread of light which you've put out there to help somebody, and then so they take it, and then they will feel comfortable or knowing that everything's okay because you feel okay. Do you get me?
Yeah, I'm getting the gist of where you're going.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
For those people that say that, you know, they know when a particular person or archangel is around them because they feel a pat on the shoulder or somebody's hand on their knee, how does that sort of fit in with what you're saying now?
Okay. Well, okay, so I communicate with my higher self. So what happens now is that when Archangel Michael comes in, I've learned to recognize his energy through the teachings from my higher self. Right. So over the years, what happens is it's all about learning the different energy. You know, how it feels, what does it make you do? You know, all that sort of thing. And the archangels have a really high frequency, and they have like a beautiful sense of comfort, the archangels. So as you work with your higher self, then the archangels are able to come in because you can space their frequency to come in, because we must remember that archangels, higher selves, and all spirit, that it's all energy. So as human beings, we have to clear our energy and we have to tune into the frequencies to be able to bring them into our space. Now, saying that, there are many people who do pick up archangels and do spirit, right? How do I explain it? Well, everyone has a different interpretation, don't they, Roy? Everyone has a different way of explaining how they connect to the angels or their higher selves. This is just my version of it, really. When you do tarot readings and someone feels that Archangel Michael is around, well, over the years of learning how to read the tarot, for example, they've learned to recognize the energy, and that's what it's all about, is learning how to recognize energy.
Yeah, to me, I know when past family is around. To me, it's about the sense of vibration. I know from my life that when I was around them, this particular vibration was them. And I don't see that as being my higher self or connecting to my higher self. I see that as acknowledging that there is somebody or something that I recognize around me and just dropping in basically to say hello, you know, I'm still around, I'm still watching, thank you very much. Yeah, behave yourself or I'll give you a clip around the ears.
And they will.
And they do, yeah. Occasionally they do. But I'm not sure that to me, that's not really connecting with the higher self. To me, as you were saying before, with the expansion of the energy, to me, I pick up higher frequencies when I'm doing something like that in the quiet moments, when I'm meditating or something like that. I'll notice from one side or the other a vibration which draws you closer to it. It's almost as if you have to go in that direction to increase what's going on in your own vibration.
Exactly. See, you know what you're talking about. That's exactly right. Like I said, everyone has a different interpretation. So you're drawn to that energy, and that's and you as your higher self is encouraging you to go into that into that vibration. So you explained it quite well. So everyone has a different explanation, you see.
Yeah. I just want to get in there because Cherie's just put a comment up there. I love when Michael communicates with me. I've hosted the Archangels a few times in my house. This year was such an inspiring and powerful experience. Wonderful. I'll tell you what, Cherie, if you're interested, just send me a guest in the comments and we'll bring you up onto the clipboard so that you can join us and maybe take that a little bit further. Get some action.
Yes, Cherie, that's beautiful. When I have the archangels come into in this room to help me or help somebody else, the room just feels beautifully comfortable. It's like smooth. The energy is very smooth. It's like being embraced. I love having a loving embrace. It's quite it's very uplifting. It's beautiful. Thanks for sharing, Cherie. That's just great. I know when Uriel comes in, Archangel Uriel, you know, like he gets his trumpet, you know, that announces himself.
Everybody's got their own way of knocking on the door, haven't they?
Yes. It's beautiful. How I know the archangels are just about to enter my space, Roy, is that I get birds. I get a bird near the window, a certain sound of a bird. The little bird starts to twitter, and I know that he's just arrived, or the angels have arrived.
You're basically looking for precursors.
Yes, like little flags, you know, flag posts. So mine is a bird. Right. Yeah, it's beautiful. Like every time I hear it, you know, especially in times when you're feeling doubtful or something, or I'm thinking about myself and my purpose and so on, I suddenly hear this beautiful little bird, and I know that the angels, that, you know, that the angels are nearby and that they're letting me know that everything's okay. So it's all about learning how to recognize the signposts. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I've had a few of those, and I know a few of those that come in and remind me that something's coming up or going on. I'd like to go back just a little bit to this feeling of energy and hosting the angels and so forth in the room. You mentioned that there is a sense of beauty, of calmness. Can people use this to say, right, I'm recognizing that I'm heading in the right direction? And
yes. When we have our quiet moments, right, and when I say quiet moment, it's moments where we sit down and to reflect on ourselves and who we are and so on. So when the your space becomes very quiet and you don't I'm being sorry, I just had a knock on the door.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
I was saying yes.
I thought you were getting a message.
Well, maybe we are. Maybe that's what the knock's all about. Hello, I'm here. Let me be part of the group. How do I know? It's just I suddenly feel really quiet. Really calm. I feel warmth under my cheeks, under my, my throat, on my cheeks. Suddenly the air stands still, like it just doesn't, it feels like it's not moving. It's like it's suddenly very quiet. It's very peaceful. And then I get the tingles, like right now, obviously we've got a visitor because I'm starting to vibrate. So when we suddenly feel very quiet and very calm, know that is all about having clarity and confirmation about that you're on the right track, that the message you just received is of the highest good. Like learn the signals that come around you. That's how we learn about energy, really, is the signals that we get. Question everything as well. How does this feel? Why does that happen?
I just find that a lot of people that I talk to at the fairs and the markets, they want to connect. They really do. They have this urge to go out there and connect, but they don't know what to look for or what to feel or when to feel it, so that they can then say, well, yes, I now recognise that's what I should be doing, or that's how it feels. And having just spoken about the calmness and the sudden sense of vibrancy in the room, I don't know whether that's the word you were looking for, but I sometimes feel that there's a strong vibrancy, almost I can't even explain it myself. The air is simply electric.
Yes, it's like it's buzzing, right? It's like when we hear it's like the electricity is buzzing, and suddenly you feel. What happens to me is I suddenly sit up and my spine feels really straight. That's how I know. That's how I know the angels are coming in, or the angels are in the room, or my higher self is coming in. Do you know what I mean? Like as a channel, suddenly my spine sits up. It's quite amazing, really. And then I get the tingles. And then sometimes what happens at the end of a session with a client, suddenly the room goes really quiet. Like you could hear a pin drop. Suddenly you're feeling really relaxed and calm. And what I do is I get people to go, sorry. What I do is I get people, I say to them, shh, enjoy the quietness. Feel how wonderful that feels, right? Because when that clarity comes into your space, what the message is really, remember this feeling in times of difficult moments. So when we can focus on those feelings, we can draw that calmness into our space, and that's how we learn the signals.
Yeah, again, back onto the fairs and the markets, when I've got the opportunity to walk around and watch different people doing readings and the like, you can generally tell when people are getting information that assists them. Their shoulders seem to drop and their whole body seems to totally relax. And I've found myself that if I'm meditating or just at a quiet time, even reading a book occasionally, that sense of total relaxation comes forward. And it's almost as if somebody's tapping you on their shoulder and saying, "You're tense, let it go. Just bring yourself down and let the energy flow naturally rather than trying to bottle it up."
That's right. Or the way that I explain it is, imagine that you're on, a river of, like a river, and you're going downstream and suddenly having a difficult situation and suddenly you want to go upstream. Well, while we go upstream, we're having that moment. So really just allow yourself to go with the flow, really. I know it sounds
we've got a big one here from Cherie.
Yeah.
Human beings feel like they need to be told if they are connecting the right way. There is no right or wrong way. The angels will let you know. Have you ever felt completely stressed and then all of a sudden you just feel calm and you don't know why? The angels are there ready for you to talk to them.
Yes. Beautiful, Cherie. Exactly, right? Exactly. I don't know. And like there have been many times where I've been very stressful and, then what happens with me, because I'm an empath, I just suddenly start crying because the angels come into my space and their energy is so, the frequency is really high. I start to cry and that's when I know they're around as well. And suddenly everything just feels like it has stopped. And then I take a big breath and suddenly I just know that I'm okay. So what I do then is I just get up, dust myself off and keep going. So, yes, we all experience it differently. But at the end of the day, Roy, it's the most beautiful experience that us human beings can have, to be connected to energy that just adores us to move forward.
Yes. I just want to roll over that for people who are going to sort of get this in the replay. We're looking at ourselves as being the base element, our higher self being the gatekeeper, as you have placed it, who connects with the higher entities that we would like to connect with but don't have the vibrational frequency to do so. So we're using that, and we recognize this by being calm in the moment, accepting when the room is becoming more alive and vibrant, and recognizing that when these things are happening, we're moving ourselves to a higher frequency. Is that pretty much where you've gone?
That's beautiful, Roy. Absolutely. That's great. So how does that make you feel? That felt great, didn't it?
Well, certainly. I'm trying to think of it from the point of view of people who want to reach that level. Some of this I have already accomplished. I know when the room is quiet that I'm heading in the right direction. But as I said, there's a lot of people out there that really, they want to connect, but they don't know what to look for. And being able to say, well, look, when you're quiet and when you feel that the room is just expanding on you and your energy is just flowing out there, you're heading in the right direction. When your energy becomes high enough that you can sense that there's something else out there, that's the direction you want to go in. And these are the signposts that I'm trying to sort of aim at for people who watch this 5 months down the road and really want to look.
Yes. The other signs are also, it's like a magnetic pull. So when people say they're not able to connect, what they're really saying that they're not able to connect to themselves. Because when we connect to angels, higher self, spirit, galactics, however you want to explain it as, you're really connecting to yourself. Are we on the same page?
Yeah.
Right. Because and this is what I teach in my program. So we have to look at ourselves genuinely with integrity and responsibility. And then once we do that, we are really just connecting to Roy. I'm connecting to Katerina, right? Adair's connecting to Adair, or Cherie's connecting to Cherie, right? That's what we're really doing at the end of the day. And the angels and so on are there to mirror us, ideas, solutions, question us. Like if I'm not paying attention, okay, my team will bring another person into my life who will be the mirror of the solution, right? They'll come in and
right.
see, and then so now I've learned to say, well, thanks so much. What is it about that conversation that I need to do to help myself? So that's how, you know, that's where I am now. But that took years of learning how to recognize that, right? But we're just simply learning how to communicate with ourselves at a you know, different level, because we're all like, the word better, right? I don't use the word better anymore, because we are better. We are magnificent. We are higher selves. We are the angels that we know we are. We are the solutions. It's just all about learning how to look at ourselves and say, okay, what is it that I can learn today that will help me move forward, really? And don't forget, you know, we're born into a world where we get disconnected from birth. We have to relearn everything that we already knew.
Yeah, I was midway through that conversation. A question came to mind, and in thinking about that question, and in what you were talking about, it answered itself. But for me, I'll put it forward as this: if you feel that you have a question, and you're putting it through your mind, oh, this is I really need to do blah blah. I really don't know how to go about it. What you're saying is that somebody will come into your life at that point, and then they will either make conversation or they will do something which will either answer the question that you had in mind or put you on the right path to find the answer of what you had in mind.
Exactly.
Is that close?
And yes, no, that's exactly right. And we have to remember that there's no right or wrong or negative or positive. So you know, the naysayers, for example, you know, you get a naysayer coming into your life saying, you can't do that. Why are you doing that? You know, that sort of conversation. And really what they're doing is just, they're saying, okay, this is how you think about yourself. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay in this place, or are you going to look at how you can uplift yourself and move forward? And so now I say, thank you so much. I love you very much. And now I have to look at myself and see how I can change that behavior. So Elisa, hi. She's saying, when I connect, my whole being totally surrender and relax into this calmness and my body tingles. Yes. To connect, just stop, deep breath, go within, connect with your heart and feel. We are all unique and special and already connected with our higher self and being. Exactly, Elisa. That's exactly right. It's just we're all here to rediscover how to do that. That's why we're here, right?
Got another one.
Yes. Numbers, yes. 1111 is a portal. So when 1111 comes up, it means that you've just walked through a portal, which means that you're on the right track. Or 333s or 222s, you know, all the angelic numbers that are letting you know, your team is actually letting you know that you're on the right track or the thought is correct. For example, yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, and she needed some, we're talking about something going on, and at the time that I gave her the answer, she saw 1111. So she knew that the answer was of the highest good. You know what I mean? So they're the
going into that, people with the 1111s and things like that, there's a few people I have to admit in life that I find hard to bear, put it that way. And occasionally when I've had questions, I've been pushed in that direction, and I've sort of winced at the thought of having to connect with this person or do this particular thing. And then the 1111 has come up, or 222 or something like that, and I think I've got to go in this direction, just follow it. And it reminds me that even though this person may be, in themselves a very nice person, but for some reason I find discourse with them. And I have to learn to get past that discourse to find out what this person has to offer me. And the numbers do play a very high part in that.
Yes. Yes. Well, it could also be, you know, if you have strong perception, it could be the light. You know, the light around us gets lighter or brighter. You know, like our third eye. When our third eye becomes activated, it just means that we are moving into a space where we are going to learn how to see differently. That's what the third eye activation is, to learn how to see things differently. That's another.
It's another one of the higher self and attunements. One of the many things that we have to do to reach that, the goal of total spiritual awareness. Unfortunately, I'm drawing to the end of my, I've got 40 years left to find this spiritual awareness and the gates to everything.
But let me tell you, Roy, you're already there. It's just about believing it and seeing with different eyes. And we're all doing the best. And we remember, like I said before, we are the better versions of ourselves. We shouldn't compare ourselves to other people. We shouldn't compare our evolution to another person's evolution, because everyone is where they are, where they should be, you know. So we all need to, you know, stop beating ourselves up and learn to love ourselves a lot more, and understand that when our own energies are at a frequency that we can bring something new into our lives, wow, you know, the doors open, people come in that can help you, you know, it's like, it's magnificent, really. We just have to give ourselves.
There's also the aspect, I'm not sure about yourself, but for me, that sometimes I've been sort of stagnating in a particular place and thinking about where to go next or what to do next, and then you get this sudden idea that pops into the back of the head and goes, maybe you should head in this direction, and then you think, oh God, now I'm scared totally. And you've got two choices. You either accept and go down that road and find out where it leads, or you deny the thought to see what's going to happen, and well, you can be pretty sure that nothing's going to happen at the end of that. So like, for me, it's a case of when that emotion or something like that comes up, it's the road less traveled. Do I want to take it, or do I want to just skip away and say, no, that's too scary?
Yeah, but see, everything that is new and unknown starts off to be scary. Like, I get very nervous, and now I use that flagpole. When I get nervous, I know it's going to be wonderful. So I take a big breath and I move forward into it, right? But no one's perfect,
but a lot of people don't do that. They're scared of that emotion, and they don't want to go there for fear that something terrible is going to happen. And
but we all come from there. I mean, I came from there, Roy. Yeah, everything that I am today is a process. It's all unraveling, unfolding, learning to love me, love you, you know, all that type of stuff. It's not perfect. The journey is not perfect, and it's not meant to be perfect. And we all need to remember that. And the messages I'm getting now is that, okay, the light language is coming through. If that's okay, Roy. I think we might bring that through.
I'll go with it.
Okay, here we go. Hauta haya danishula manahautu hawamahaya hisala. Just remember that you are all perfect from the soul level, halutusanaya, but as human beings, you are imperfectly beautiful. Dalatahayitasanaya. Every step in your journey is how you unravel and process. Daluhutahaya. So be kind to yourself and love yourself. Dalahayadusha. And know that you are never alone and your guidance is always with you.
Wow. It's amazing.
Tingles?
All through the, yeah, I got the tingles, don't worry. I was just noticing that during our conversations, we get little blips and burps and all that sort of thing, and that we've grown expect that now. But when you did the light language, nothing. Absolutely perfect. It came through.
Beautiful.
No glitches, no nothing. And if that isn't an example to other people that this is what to expect, then I don't know what is. Now we are at the we got 15 minutes left. Well, up to 15 minutes. Could probably go further, but I try to keep it within the hour. How about you just give us a little bit on your course on Akashic Records, how people can join in, what to expect. We were going to put up your websites, weren't we?
Yes. So my business
do you want to do that
page.
now? All right.
Yeah,
I'll see
sure.
if I can.
If someone has a question, please bring it up and I'll give you a light language reading. I'll be happy to do that.
Right. If you want to contact Katerina on her page, we have this one, facebook.com, Katerina Lenarcic.
Yes, that's my business page, Lenarcic. Be Your True Self.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I always say Lenarcic. Okay. But yeah, I will correct that from now on.
That's my business page, Be Your True Self.
Yeah. Now, for people who would like to have a private reading with Katerina, this is where you should go. All right? Can be made at beyourtrueself.setmore.com. Go there and make a booking for a private reading. I'm just going to let that roll through once more, Katerina, and then I'll put up Eliza's comment.
Okay.
There we go. If people want that, they can get that on the replay. Now, Eliza just sent in a bit here. So good to hear someone else channeling light language too. I was answering it back in light language. I noticed she didn't come in as a guest so that you could all talk light language together.
That would be great. Oh, that's great, Eliza. Oh, thanks so much. You know, Roy, when I get positive feedback like that, it just motivates me to keep going and to share it, because it takes a lot of courage and self-worth to even do it out in public.
Put yourself out there, yeah. Okay, now can we go on to the course that you've got coming out for the Akashic Records? Can we go through some of that?
Sure. On the 20th of October, I'm having a workshop on the Akashic Records, and what that's all about is I've created a manual which I've intuitively downloaded the information from. I'm going to take you on a guided tour to the Akashic Records. So it's like we meet. I take you to the foyer because I treat it like a library, okay? So we go to the foyer and then I explain what all that means. And then I show you the levels of the Akashic Records and how, what's expected, because there are strict rules in regards to going into the Akashic Records. During this workshop, I'll connect you to your Akashic guardian, because you need one of those to enter space. Then you'll also let some light language healing as well. My team also get me to talk about the lower vibrational parts of ourselves and how that needs to be, how that will raise its frequency as well. So I talk about that in the Akashic Records. And this time round, the workshop, you will participate and I will help you tune into your records. Have you got a bird in the background, Roy?
Oh, I got tons of birds around my way.
Oh, wow,
I'm
that
to
was
the point
loud.
where I don't know. The parrots here go crazy of a night time, so
yeah,
you'll probably hear them coming in.
Yeah, obviously, they're communicating with whoever's around with us. Yes, so the day is all about workshopping. So you get involved in connecting with your knowledge. You will be able to write a new page in your book about your intentions.
Why is it important for you to do this?
Why? Because it's important for me to do it because my purpose is to have people connect with the parts of themselves that this world has made you forget. Because we all have the information we need. We all have the answers we need. My purpose is to help you to learn how to tap into it. And the Akashic Records is just one way of doing it.
Wow, I'm getting all sorts of sounds coming in through ears, and I've got earplugs in here, so something about this conversation is zooming in on me. So I've got a feeling I may have to look deeper into this one.
Yes. Part of the workshop, I've got. If you go into my event page, it'll tell you, the costs and everything. But I also have included another price where you get a private Akashic reading with me, which is like a VIP ticket as well after the event.
Oh, lovely! That's always a good draw card.
Yes, and yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to take a little bit further for the people who might be tuning in down Nuri way. You've got the fair coming up this weekend. Is there anything you wanted to put out there on that?
Okay, so what I'm offering is at 10 a.m. I'll offer a 30-minute free reading to anybody who, we can do like a prize thing, door prize, have a 30-minute reading for you.
At the moment that if they tap in light, the word light, whoops, Adair wanted to come in as a guest, so I'm going to have to, we've got 5 minutes left. I might see if she's still available. That's my problem. Just carry on about Nuri and I'll see if I can get Adair in.
Sure. So if you want a free reading, just type in the word light and we'll draw your name out, and the free reading will be at 10 a.m. Sunday morning at Nuri. And I also have a deck of angelic inspirational cards that I will offer as a door prize for anybody that, it's just a gift from me for being there and sharing my gifts with you.
Still in there typing, sorry.
That's okay. So I'm looking forward to doing Nuri and showing everybody, who I am, be your true self. So if you'd like me to give you a light language reading.
I'll get to that in a second. If you haven't had a reading by Katerina, believe me, you've got to take the time to come down to Nuri and force your way through the crowds that are going to be down there and make sure you get your name onto Katerina's table. If not, then you're going to have to wait until Golden Grove or somewhere else to find out how good the readings are. So you're bad luck if you miss out. You should have booked in early.
Yes, or come to Modbury and have a reading at home. Yeah, private reading.
Booking for Modbury, that's always a good one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Adair's going to make it for the thing, but I've sent out the guest just in case. Eliza sent us another message.
Yes, light language needs to be shared more. I'm building up courage to share it more publicly. Well done. Thank you. Akashic record, very powerful. Yes, Akashic records are very powerful once we understand what that really means for us. And my workshop is just simply my interpretation, my understanding, and what I've been shown.
Well, what if we, once you've done your Akashic record, it's your Akashic record course, sorry. We get you and maybe a couple of the people that you go through with that might be interested in doing this, just come on and give us some feedback on how they went and whether it made changes for them. Yeah.
Well, you know, I have a workshop on the 12th of oh yes, Lisa, just give me a minute. I have a workshop on the 12th of August about, you know, be your true self, and just general, if you go into my page and look at my event. But what I'm offering you is, if you can get 2 people paid tickets, you can have your ticket for free for that event on the 12th of August.
That is a brilliant offer. Brilliant indeed. People should be taken up on that, and you'll probably get run out of numbers for the people who are going to watch the replays. So I'll leave it with you to give. Well, sorry, I was going to leave it with you to give Eliza her reading when you're ready.
Yep. Right. Hautuna haita sahauna male taniami hinalunum. There is no need to fear, Dalamutasaya, the language within, Dalamianaya. Your beautiful sound, the Hahialia, will heal many. So we encourage you, Dataya, to come out and share your light.
I take it that's for Eliza.
Yes. That's beautiful.
How wonderful is that? That's wonderful. I'm just great. Thank you for giving us a run through today. We might do it again at some point for the Akashic records, because I think there's still a lot more there to be examined and brought forward. How about that?
Well,
with
I
you?
will be. Yes, I am creating next year. I am creating a 6 weeks course, which I'll bring through next year.
All right, that sounds good. I thank you once again. I'll put you into the lobby. I'll just close off, and then we'll do a quick catch up and finish off, if that's all right with you.
Okay, beautiful.
Lovely.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be finishing off in a moment, and I'll just run through some of the things that are important. If you're going to watch the replay of this, you can still type in light into the comments to be available to be a part of the competition. We will send you a link so that you can get back in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. so that you can find out who the winner is for this particular competition. And just to catch up on what's coming up on the coming week. So that's on my Mytvlivewell-spirit. If you go to that site tomorrow night, you'll find out who the winner is and what's coming up for Spiritual and Wellness Fair, and maybe a few things if people have got other stuff coming up. Depends on who lets me know, of course. Outside of that, I say thank you very much. Please share this with as many people as you can over the next few days, just to let them know that we are out there. We're still doing it. We're trying to build this up. You can still contact Katerina on facebook.com, Katerina Lenarcic. That's her business page. And if you want to have a private reading, this can be made by going to beyourtrueself.setmore mytvlivewell-spirit.com. Go there and make a booking with Katerina, and hopefully next time we will have somebody just as wonderful and even more informative on the areas that they're dealing with. So for everybody that is out there, I thank you all for joining me. And if you're watching the replay, I thank you for watching the replay. Namaste, and may your weekend be brilliant. Thank you.